8 eye-opening lessons about marriage for young couples. Too often, young couples walk into marriage believing love will fix everything. That saying, "I do," is the end of the hard work and the beginning of endless happiness. But every seasoned couple will tell you, the truth is different. Marriage is not the end of a love story, it is the beginning of a new one. Full of challenges, surprises, and countless opportunities to grow together. Today I want to share with you 8 eye-opening lessons about marriage. These lessons are not theories from textbooks, but lived realities, what I have seen, what couples around us have lived through, and what will help young men and women step into marriage with wisdom. Lesson 1. Love is not enough. Partnership is key. Falling in love is magical, and it can sweep you off your feet. But every couple soon learns that romance alone cannot carry the weight of everyday life. Love is a foundation, yes, but it needs the pillars of partnership to stand strong. Imagine 2 young partners in New York. Just married, both working full-time. At first, they are thrilled to come home to each other. But then bills pile up. Laundry sits untouched. And decisions about careers and where to live start to press down on them. If they see marriage only as passion, frustration sets in quickly. But when they shift to partnership, sharing chores, respecting each other's workload, and making decisions together, the same pressures become manageable. Partnership means saying, "We are on the same team." It means dividing responsibilities not by gender or tradition but by fairness and capacity. Sometimes one partner will carry more weight, other times the balance will shift. That flexibility, that shared commitment, transforms marriage from a fragile flame into a steady fire. Lesson 2. Communication is the oxygen of marriage. Without communication, love suffocates. So many couples I've met believed they were communicating because they were talking every day. But talking is not always connecting. True communication is about listening, about understanding not just words but emotions. Take the example of a young couple in London. The wife feels overwhelmed by work and secretly wishes her husband would ask how she is doing. He, on the other hand, thinks silence means she wants space. So he pulls back. Both love each other, but without words their hearts drift apart. When they learn to check in daily, asking simple questions like, "How are you feeling today?" or "What was the hardest part of your day?" the wall between them begins to fall. Communication also means expressing gratitude, not just complaints. A kind word like, "I appreciate you making dinner," can matter more than 100 criticisms. If you want your marriage to thrive, keep oxygen flowing with words of honesty, care, and affirmation. Lesson 3. Conflict is inevitable but it can be healthy. Every marriage will face conflict. The question is not whether you fight but how you fight. Many young couples fear that disagreements mean they are failing. But in reality, conflict is often a sign that 2 people care enough to be real. What matters is whether the conflict is destructive or constructive. Think of a couple in Berlin. The husband wants to save aggressively for a future home, while the wife values spending on experiences while they are young. If they attack each other, "You're irresponsible," or "You're stingy," resentment grows. But if they frame the conflict as, "We both want a good life. Let's see how we can balance saving with enjoying today," then the disagreement becomes a doorway to deeper understanding. Healthy conflict means attacking the problem, not the person. It means using pauses when anger rises and returning when both are calm. In fact, couples who learn to fight fairly often grow stronger because they discover they can survive storms together. Lesson 4. Money talks. Don't let finances be a silent killer. If there is one topic that quietly erodes marriages, it is money. Surveys show financial stress is one of the top reasons couples divorce in the US and Europe. It is not only about the lack of money but about the lack of openness. A young couple in Paris might live comfortably, But if one partner hides debts or secretly spends without telling the other, trust breaks faster than the budget. Money is not just numbers, it represents values, security, and sometimes even identity. That is why couples need to bring finances into the open. Sit down, write out your incomes, your expenses, your goals. Create a shared budget for the essentials and savings, but also allow space for individual freedom, small amounts each partner can spend without question. This balance avoids resentment and builds respect. Remember, it is not about who earns more or who controls the bills. It is about standing together financially, saying, "This is our life, our future, and we are building it side by side." Lesson 5. Intimacy is more than physical. It's emotional safety. When most people hear the word intimacy, they immediately think of physical closeness. But the truth is much deeper. Real intimacy begins when you feel safe enough to reveal your fears, your insecurities, and even your flaws without fear of rejection. Physical intimacy may bring excitement, but emotional intimacy builds the trust that sustains a lifetime. I once counseled a couple in Boston who looked picture perfect from the outside. They had good jobs, a nice home, and they smiled in every family photo. But behind closed doors, the wife felt emotionally abandoned. Her husband believed providing financially and sharing a bed was enough. She longed for him to ask how she was truly doing, to hold her when she cried after a hard day. It was only when he began to lean in, not with solutions, but with presence, that their marriage healed. True intimacy is built on small daily gestures, a gentle touch on the arm, eye contact over breakfast, whispered encouragement before a stressful meeting. These moments whisper, "I see you, I am with you." Without emotional safety, physical closeness feels empty. But when a couple cultivates both, intimacy becomes the heartbeat of marriage. Lesson 6. Families and friends come along too. When you marry someone, you are not just marrying them, you are also stepping into their network of family and friends. For young couples, this reality often comes as a surprise. A couple in Dublin, for instance, quickly realized that their Saturday nights were no longer just theirs. His mother expected weekly visits, while her circle of friends wanted her at every gathering. Tension grew until they learned to set boundaries together. The truth is, family and friends can enrich a marriage with love, support, and shared traditions, but they can also create stress if couples do not stand united. Learning to say, "We will decide together," is crucial. It does not mean cutting people off but making sure the marriage comes first. In-laws may have strong opinions, cultural traditions may differ, or friendships may demand more time than you can give. The solution lies in respectful boundaries, appreciating the role of extended family and friends, but always reinforcing the bond between husband and wife as primary. When couples handle this wisely, outside relationships become sources of strength rather than division. Lesson 7. Personal growth keeps the marriage alive. Marriage is a shared journey, but it is also the union of two individuals who must keep growing. Many young couples assume that once vows are exchanged, their identities should merge into one. While unity is beautiful, losing individuality is dangerous. I think of a woman in Copenhagen who gave up her passion for painting after marriage because she thought it was selfish to spend time away from her husband. Years later, resentment replaced romance, not because she stopped loving him but because she stopped loving herself. Healthy marriages thrive when both partners pursue personal growth, whether through hobbies, education, career development, or spiritual exploration. Growth prevents stagnation. It creates new stories to share, new dimensions of attraction. A husband who supports his wife's career ambitions, a wife who encourages her husband's interest in music. Both reap the joy of seeing each other come alive. And here is the paradox: the stronger you are as individuals, the stronger your bond becomes. When you invest in your own growth, you bring fresh energy and inspiration back into the marriage, keeping it alive and vibrant. Lesson 8. Commitment is a daily choice, not a one-time vow. Every wedding begins with vows spoken in front of family and friends. Promises sealed with rings and sealed again with kisses. But the truth is, those vows are not magic spells that guarantee happiness. Commitment is not a single decision, it is a choice you must remake every day. Think of a couple in Chicago married for 15 years. They faced infertility, financial hardship, and moments where walking away seemed easier. What kept them together was not the memory of their wedding vows but the decision each day to choose love again. Commitment is built in the ordinary, making your spouse coffee when you are tired, staying patient during stressful weeks, saying, "I forgive you," after mistakes. Some days, love feels effortless. Other days, it feels like work. But the act of choosing to stay, choosing to care, choosing to hope, builds a resilience that no storm can shatter. When young couples understand that commitment is a daily decision, they stop expecting perfection and start embracing the sacred work of showing up again and again. Conclusion. Marriage is not a fairy tale where everything is solved once the vows are spoken. It is a living, breathing relationship that requires care, honesty, and courage. These 8 lessons are not meant to scare you but to prepare you. Because when you know the truth, you can walk into marriage with eyes open, hearts ready, and hands joined in partnership. To every young couple listening, do not fear the challenges. Embrace them as opportunities to grow closer. Love is not about avoiding difficulties, it is about choosing each other through them. And that choice, made day after day, is what turns 2 lives into one extraordinary journey. If you found this video meaningful, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. If you're facing unresolved challenges in your own marriage, we invite you to share your story in the comments below. We read every message, and we hope our words of encouragement will give you the strength to keep going. Even on the hardest days, we're here with you, and we look forward to seeing you again in the next episode.